Hello everybody, welcome to the voice box. It's finally here. Yes, Konami have finally released some footage of Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake Delta with the first in-engine look to see how the game runs. We've got some gameplay here and we've got some visual effects. It's still only in pre-alpha footage, so what we're seeing might not be the end result, but given on what we can see so far, this seems quite impressive, guys. So to do a breakdown of the footage, we can see quite clearly here what seems to be the first section of the game when you crawl past the swamps and you come across the crocodiles. Quite clearly the visuals seem quite impressive already when you can see the mud moving along with Snake in the swamp. One thing that is a must in remakes is physics and enhancements, not just within graphics but within gameplay and how the physics of the character model moves. And more impressively, how the environment reacts with the model, as we can see mud and bits of dirt falling off a Snake as he travels through the swamp. Really impressive. Whilst I think it's worth noting how impressive the graphic enhancements look and also the attention to detail with the mud still being on the outfit Snake is wearing, something does seem a little bit off though about his appearance. It doesn't look like Naked Snake in my opinion. I mean, I know it's only pre-alpha footage, but I hope this isn't the end result. Given on the controls and the movement, it almost seems very similar to that of Metal Gear Solid 5, if not better. For example, when you're hugging the wall, one just carefully pushes the stick towards the item or object they're wishing to hide behind. It seems like the motion between standing and crouching and prone will be a lot easier this time too. That of similar to Metal Gear 5 where it's easy to transition between such movements. And gladly it seems like the old aiming system is back as well, with first person view, keeping that old school quality that we all know and love from the original, instead of using the more modern take with the crosshairs. It's most likely we'll still have the ability to shoot free aim by just pressing the square button, but that depends on what the official controls will be, so we don't know at this stage, but still quite exciting. And we can see a bit more of an in-depth of the bridge. Yes, the rickety bridge from Metal Gear Solid 3. It's as rickety as it's ever been. And I imagine we'll probably be able to shoot the ropes as before, making it a little bit more unsturdy as we did when we was on our travels. So it's pretty cool to see that there, looking even better than it did before. Hopefully we still get the feature where you can shoot the hornet's nest. So first time in the footage we see some CQC. And it seems really impressive in the way the physics really come together. Seeing the motion in where Snake grabs the soldier's arm to stop him from using his weapon and dismantling him, using his other arm to put the knife towards his throat, is really impressive to see in this intense detail the level of CQC in this high quality. But not just that, the level of detail as the leaves and grass that falls off him as he makes his approach from the grass. Even from just how lived in the world feels, just seeing little elements like butterflies flying around in that level of detail, this is truly impressive. And this place looks awfully similar to where we fight the pain with inside the cave system. We have coral snakes and different kinds of creatures such as crabs, the water reflections with the frogs moving, and we have Snake walking through a lake from which can only presume it's perhaps before he meets Ocelot in that section, or just after you fight the pain and there's people flying around on the flying hovercrafts. It seems quite noticeable too that the actual map in itself seems a lot more bigger and enlarged. That's if this what we're seeing here is actually official gameplay and not just a rendered scene. So now we're in a familiar spot, Rasvet, where we have to go rescue Sokolov at the start of our virtuous mission. And we can also see Naked Snake there wearing the Square's outfit. But once again, the face model seems a little bit out of place to me. What do you guys think? There's something about the facial features that does seem a little bit unusual, from the hair to the beard. As truly as amazing as it all looks, including the environments and the animals, one has to take this here as not really being game footage. To me it just looks like a rendered scene that they put together. So I'm hoping that when the gameplay footage does come through and we actually do get to see a little bit more, that we do get to see how perhaps we get to interact with the animals, such as the cool mechanics and features that comes to interacting with different animals, such as seeing the vultures feasting on the enemies once we've taken them out. It's no doubt quite impressive to see what we've got so far with just this little glimpse. well, that's about all there is for the gameplay trailer with a few nice extra scenes and cutscenes. My thoughts on this so far is I'm quite impressed with what they've shown us, considering so far that it's only just pre-alpha footage, it's not the finishing touches, so there might be a few more things we'll see along the way. If there's one thing that I have to criticise the most, is probably the appearance of Naked Snake. Yes, whilst it's a remake and character appearances do look a tad bit different, there just seems to be something missing about his model, something about the quality doesn't seem just like Snake as we know him. Like for example here I'm comparing the Pachinko Snake with the Snake we see on the remake, and they do look very similar in a way. They've got the very same facial structures that seem to be very announced. Like Big Boss has got that very strong masculine face with very in-depth facial features, such as the pronounced strong nose that he has. One thing that seems a little bit unusual as well is eyes. What happened to those big blue bright eyes that he had? I mean, it could just be that the angle and perhaps maybe because of the shadows and the lighting that we can't see the blue eyes. I mean, in all fairness, it does look really great and it looks modern and it looks realistic. With lighting and camera angles, things can be quite deceiving, because on the trailer of MGS3 Delta, Snake's character model looks absolutely exceptional for a modern take on what he would look like with modern graphics. Of course, looks and character models are not the most important thing in the game. We've got this game running on the Unreal Engine, so of course the game's going to hold up quite nicely, especially for a remake. As we've seen with the engine, we can see what kind of things it can do and how impressive things really do look. Like the attention to detail in absolutely everything. Like when you look at Snake's outfit, you can actually see rips and tears on there. And yes, whilst the Unreal Engine in itself might not be a unique engine of its own, but it really does hold up with today's modern standard of graphics. Just absolutely everything with the textures of Snake's outfit, from his undersuit to the brickwork with the bits of cement on them. From parts of mud and soil breaking off as we're walking through the swamp and seeing the water ripple. In terms of physics and mechanics, it looks like an amazing rendition and a new breath of fresh air from the original. Everything seems to be going really well so far, given on what we've seen. If Konami can actually give this full circle by making sure they don't remove any content at all and the story is just as what we remember it, I think we just might be into a winner here, guys. Despite the Master Collection, despite everything else so far, if Konami don't get this right, I think that might just be it for them. But if they get this one right, this could open up a whole new door for Metal Gear remakes and potentially the MXX games being remade. Well anyway guys, this is all for the voice box. Please leave me a comment in the section down below if there's anything I've missed in any details and anything at all. I'd love to hear your opinion. Thank you for joining me. I'm out.